If you've been in the mood for something that is genre blending, has this layer of cool, fun, and emotional vulnerability, then you have to listen to Spiritual Cramp's latest album, Rude. Hello everyone, welcome back to Pretty in Punk. My name is Fiona. I'm your host and girly girl guide to the world of punk, rock, and everything in between. And if you see a lot of cuts in this video, I'm getting over a cold. And I have this lingering cough that just isn't going away. Excuse me. As I said, we are reviewing the latest release from Spiritual Cramp. If you haven't heard of them, they are a heavy punk-rooted yet genre-blending band from San Francisco, formed back in 2017. Their sound mixes new wave, classic punk, even some reggae, and of course some 90s alt-rock in there as well. So Michael Bingham and Mike Fenton started writing together after leaving a previous band known as Creative Adult. That is when they went to go form Spiritual Cramp, and the name derives from a Christian death song of the same name. This current release, Rude, which I'm going to get into, released October 24th via Blue Grape Music, follows their 2023 self-titled album. I discovered this band when I saw them open for Bad Nerves, hence the shirt, in May of 2025, and I was immediately hooked, and I found them to be really cool and interesting. They had this mix of this punk attitude with some reggae influences, modern alt-rock influences, new wave, and to me, Michael Bingham's vocals were a huge standout that made this band seem instantly fresh to me. He has this vocal tone that is both bold yet very controlled. It demands attention without sounding forced. At times it can be raw and gritty, but he also has this super deep brooding quality to it, which I love. Their live presence to me just felt really fun, and they also had this whole genre fluidity, which I loved, and that is something that carries right onto this record, and I couldn't wait to see what this release brought to the table. That's a little background info, so why don't we get right in to the album review. Sonically, Rude is just a fun collision of so many different sounds. We have these like sharp, punchy guitars that are sometimes aggressive, yet other times funky and groovy, so it keeps it fresh with every new track. We have bass lines that just drive the songs forward, drums that keep everything danceable and upbeat, and smooth production that is totally clean without losing those punk influences that you can hear throughout the album. As someone who loves the Bay Area music scene and has so many favorite bands and artists from there, even though I'm not personally from there, it just so happens a lot of my favorite bands are, and Australia for some reason, not sure why. To me, I can absolutely feel that in their sound. They have a very California feel to me. This album feels like it's built to be played live. It's upbeat, it's danceable, and it has fun choruses that are great hooks that really get stuck in your head. Like, I think they would totally fit the vibe of See Here Now. Personally, I can totally see them playing there. This album to me just encapsulates these like windows down, beach day, nighttime drive type scenes. It really feels like a movie soundtrack to like a coming of age movie. And I mean that as a compliment because I love a coming of age movie. I really do. As for the production, even with that punk foundation, the mix is very clean and intentional. They bounce between genres. We have these punk undertones, we have alt rock, we have this reggae moment in there as well, which we will get into without losing continuity. There's this really playful sense of experimentation happening throughout the record, but nothing feels messy. It really does all feel like a cohesive, thought out album, despite the fluidity of genres. As for the vocals, I did talk about how I am a fan of Bingham's vocals. To me, they are a huge centerpiece of the album. They're bold and have this very unique tone to them and a very commanding delivery. As I said, he can be powerful at times or brooding depending on what the moment calls for. And to me, that range that he has really elevates their songwriting. And speaking of songwriting, a lot of the lyrics on the album follow themes of authenticity, self-reflection, loneliness, love versus loss, anger with a touch of humor, and vulnerability. There's a lot of honesty wrapped into that like alt cool swagger that they have going on. Because of the fluidity of genres on this album, to me, I feel like this band covers so much ground, and I think they're definitely for fans of so many different bands. And just off the top of my head, if you like any of these listed below, The Clash, Ramones, Idols, Turnstile, or The Strokes, you will find something in there. Arctic Monkeys as well. I totally get some of those vibes in there as well as for fans of these genres, post-punk, classic punk, alt-rock, indie rock, and pop rock crossovers. Overall, they tap into this sense of nostalgia while pushing forward, and I think if you like any of these artists or sounds, I think you'll find one or more tracks that you love on this record, and you should definitely give it a listen. Next up, as you guys know, if you've been here before, I love a track-by-track review. I like diving deep into what I think makes each track special or unique, maybe what I don't like about a certain track. So we're going to get into our track-by-track now. The album opener, and just based off of the name alone, I could not wait to hear this. I'm an Anarchist. Perfect opener. We have this like radio style intro with a radio host. It really sets the tone and the attitude immediately. We have these very classic punk inspired vibes, Clash-like energy. I definitely hear their influence in a lot of their songs. And it has a great catchy chorus. My only critique is that to me, this song ends very abruptly, and I feel like it could have used maybe just one more section. I am all for short punk songs, you guys know this. I feel like it could have benefited from something a little bit more. However, it is still a wonderfully written song, and it firmly declares what this album is all about. On to track 2, we have Go Back Home. This keeps the momentum high. We have a very catchy hook, a bridge that is totally sing-along-esque, and a guitar solo that really brings in this extra character. It has that signature Spiritual Cramp, swagger, cool vibe. The pacing here really helps the album set into its groove. At my funeral, nobody came, everybody knew. Track number 3 is a major standout to me. We have At My Funeral, that kind of mashes up humor and honesty all into one, wrapped in this very like alt-rock-esque song. It's very cinematic. I love it, and I love how self-aware this track is. It's playful without losing an emotional weight to it as well. While it's a snarky kind of humorous song, I definitely think if you really look at the lyrics, there is a bit of vulnerability in there, and the performance just feels effortless. I love this one. Even though I've listened to this album a few times in full now, this is one that I've been coming back to standalone. I can almost taste it. Next up, track number 4, and for me, 4 songs in, no skips yet, Automatic. I love the riff on this one. It shifts the guitar tone slightly to a slightly electronic edge. It adds a bit of texture to the album without breaking the momentum. To me, these first 4 songs are so strong. The chorus to me, incredible hook, and it's one that you immediately want to replay and will get stuck in your head. Track number 5 is where the vibe kind of starts to shift a little bit. You've Got My Number featuring Sharon Van Etten. Now, while this song isn't one I've been coming back to, it's definitely not my like top 3 personal favorites on the album. I do think emotionally it is rich, and I think that the vocals on this are so beautifully paired. Sharon's presence just really adds this depth and kind of a dual perspective to the story of the song. It really adds this storytelling moment. I think that their voices blend perfectly, and I really like this moment a lot for that reason. It's just not one that has been like getting stuck in my head, but truly I think their voices sound so good together, just blend perfectly, and it's a moment that is a little bit more laid back than the first 4 heavy hitters, so it gives you like a space to breathe on the album without halting the energy completely, as it is a more laid back song. It's not like a full-on ballad, but it's definitely this more emotionally charged moment, and I really do love the feature on this. Just again, not one of my personal favorites. Track number 6, I Hate the Way I Look. I was driving when I first listened to this album for the first time. The siren in the beginning, I thought I was getting pulled over. I started to panic, okay? I was like looking around. I was about to pull over because I really thought To me, this is a heavily punk influenced song, some fun punk chaos, just like fast, raw, and also some like satirical lyrics. The lyrics really are humorous and satirical, and it balances that humor and honesty while also maybe capturing some insecurity in a very loud and explosive way. It clocks in just under 2 minutes, and to me, that is the perfect length for a punk song such as this. Smack dab in the middle, we have a little interlude, and we have that radio motif that returns. It's very simple but effective and brings you back to the beginning, recenters you before the album shifts again, and this little moment keeps the album playful yet cohesive. Spoiler alert, this is the last time that we hear this like radio host moment, and personally I do think it would have been fun if we heard it one more time, maybe before the last track, just to bring the album full circle with this little moment that we have going on. Then we move on to track number 8. This one stands out to me so much. It is this reggae leaning track. It's so groovy with these like chill but brooding vocals, funky bass, lively drums, and just very unique and cool. It's this like perfect late night drive kind of groove, and to me, this really showcases how Spiritual Cramp can easily pivot in their sound without losing their identity. I mean, the switch up from track 6 to track 8 is just so cool. I love it. This one I've been listening to a lot on its own. I'm such a huge fan. Moving on to track number 9, True Love is Hard to Find. This one, sonically, is very upbeat, but to me is deeply vulnerable underneath. We have this theme of like love versus lust, loneliness, and this conflicting desire. It has very strong lyrics, and I think it is one that is very relatable and can sneak up on you. I like how sincere the lyrics feel without turning like sentimental or corny. I think that I've lost my interest in lust. I think that I'm finding more interest in finding true love. What if I went back home to the bay where I belong? What would my life be like if I had what I wanted? What would my life be like? I don't think that I'd want it. So some very interesting, conflicting confusion maybe, and I really like it. The lyrics here, I really enjoyed. 'Cause everyone is driving me crazy. Track number 10 is Crazy. We have this catchy sing-along hook that'll be so fun live. Everyone is driving me crazy. Everyone is driving me mad. It's short, punchy, yet just perfect for that sing-along vibe. Track number 11, Young Offenders. I could not wait for this one to be released. I had this stuck in my head after seeing them live, even though like I didn't even know the lyrics, but I just couldn't get it out of my head. I loved it. Totally correct in releasing this as a single. It was totally single worthy and totally like movie soundtrack coded. It's just a top standout for sure. The arrangement to me feels so like youthful, coming of age, cinematic energy, and you just can't help but picture a montage in your head from a movie as this song plays out. Track number 12, we have New Religion. The whistle in this is really cool, keeps things fresh. It has this super alt-rock sound. While it's not a personal top favorite for me, I think it fits in well with the rest of the album seamlessly. However, I do really like the lyrics on this. It offers another emotional, different angle, more like searching within. The depths of my soul have been crying out to me. I found a new religion that no one else can see. That I loved. I adore those lyrics. So I think I'm just gonna like try listening to this song again to get myself to like it more, because I adore those lyrics. I really do. But people can change. We all make mistakes. Final track, the album closer, People Don't Change. Very Strokes-esque on this. It's an introspective closer. It has a horn section that is just so great. I love a horn section, and it kind of adds this like hopeful kind of warmth. I don't know why, I just get that vibe. To me, the lyrics on this one leave you thinking. It's like a reflective come down from the high energy of this album. However, it also does honor the vulnerability that has been running throughout the album as well. It definitely ends things on this like introspective, reflective, mature note. The lyrics, but people can change, we all make mistakes, get carried away, and people can change, why can't I? It really leaves the audience thinking. To me, my top 3 favorite tracks would have to be At My Funeral, Violence in the Supermarket, and Young Offenders. Those 3 to me, if you're not going to listen to the whole album, just pick out those 3 songs, although you should listen to the full album. Who am I kidding? But those are definitely my top 3. To wrap it all up, here's my whole personal take on Rude by Spiritual Cramp. I really enjoyed this album, and although I would not give it a perfect 10, I am giving this album a pretty high score of 8.5. So why this score? It nails this balance between familiar and fresh. We have these classic punk roots, but also this genre exploration that never feels totally forced or like corny or like they're trying too hard. Nearly every track offers something distinct and different, but the album still feels cohesive and perfectly placed together. While it's so fun, it's also very well thought out and wildly replayable. And to me, this fits right into my most recent listening habits as someone who loves these like punk-leaning bands that also innovate, taking from the old and the new. Bands like Teen Mortgage, Upchuck, Die Spitz. Spiritual Cramp kind of to me lives in a very similar space as a lot of bands that I've been replaying recently. These are the kinds of bands that to me honor punk's history while also carving new paths. To me too, despite being released in October, it feels like a summer record. It has this very like warm, bright, upbeat feeling to it. Every song when I was listening to this album in the car, I was just thinking like, I wish I could roll my windows down right now and have my sunroof open if it wasn't like 40 degrees out right now. Overall, Rude has that old school punk grit while also taking this experimental new angle. It has these emotional moments while still just being a blast. If you have listened to Rude, please tell me what track or tracks stood out to you. I would love to know some of your favorites. Go support the band, buy some physical copies of their records, grab some merch, go to a show, support the hell out of them. But all that to say, if you want to see all of the different types of content that I make, you can follow me at Pretty and Punk Pod on Instagram or TikTok. You can also listen to the podcast on all streaming platforms as well as video versions on YouTube, which hint, those are my favorites. Go listen to Rude by Spiritual Cramp. But until then, I will see you next time in the next episode.